Hi, Carol back, and this is part 2 of part 1 and 2 of my Vellum baby card. And now I have it all set up to do the flowers and to finish the actual card. This is what we now have, and I'll show you what I did do just a few minutes ago just to speed up the process so it didn't go into part 3. I took you saw this one that I did with the Spellbinders die. You can use any die. This is the Vellum. I've already put this together, right? It's a 5.5, I think I said. 5.5, yes, by 7-inch card. Then you open it up and you have your 1-inch brown ribbon. And then I made with Martha Stewart lace punch right here. I am going to put this strip down here like this. This is pink vellum, and I get my vellum at my stationery store. If you do if a stationery store does photocopying, they generally have stocked colored vellum because people want to have certificates and things done on vellum. So our store carries it. So I go and I buy 10 of each color, and then when I get down to 5, I go buy 5 more, whatever, but they have every color. They even have chocolate and black vellum. You can get tons of colors of vellum. So I took out my pink and I'm going to run it down there. Can you see that? Remember I said that I wanted to cover that little bump? Well, that's what I decided to do. And when you do this, I want my I want them to run together so that it looks uniform. So when I cut it, I'm just going to cut it here for now, but I will have to cut it up farther just to give me some idea of where this is going to end. Let me see. I might as well do it now. There. So I have that piece all set for the inside. And you say to yourself, boy, that's a whole lot of card, like a whole lot of work for just one little card. Not really. It isn't. You have to be in your craft room anyway, and it'd be like if you're going to draw a nice picture or paint a picture. It doesn't take 15 minutes to paint a picture. And this is how I look at my cards. They're like a card, it's like setting an easel up and painting, only using paper products, and I just love it. So they might not turn out like really professional, but you know what? I'm satisfied with it, and I'm the only one that has to be satisfied with it when I'm done it, right? So what I did was on the bottom here of these little babies that I showed you in part 1, I took pearls. And it's a Stampin' Up! Pearls, the second one in. And then I took the R20, let me see if I've got that in the frame. There we are. I took the R20 of my Copics, and I went over the top of them, just on the top, just so that they're not pink, really pink, but they set the white so they're not so white as well. So that's what's nice about Copics and your pearl embellishments. You can change the color as well as your ribbon. You can take cardstock too and ribbon and change the color with your Copics. So if you're coloring with your Copics and you want your ribbon and paper to match, just color it with the color it in, and with the Copics in, you will have a matched color. And then this is going to be placed down like this. Now when I put these pearls on here, it had the little cutout dots. I turned it over and I put some Tombow Mono Multi Clear Glue on the back over top so that these would not fall off. So hopefully you can see that. So these are not going to fall off. They are glued down, and I took my heat tool and I went over it and dried it out. So that's where we are on the front of the card there. Okay? I always have to remember the front and the back so I don't embellish just the front. This is going to be placed here in between these two hearts like this. That's what I'm going to run off of when I start putting everything down. This is my hat pin with no pin. That is going to be placed there. And then this is the inside. And what I did was I took my stylus and I went over the edges. I even went over the edges on the negative side of the heart so that it would stand out. I hope you can see that there. It's really pretty. And so that's on the inside. So I'm just going to leave it right there till we do the flowers. And I'm just going to embellish that little circle with a few flowers, and away we go. I've laid everything out. I am going to need one leaf. I made two, but this is going to get put away. And for my leaves, I'll quickly show you. All I do is I keep it on, whatever side you want showing the white, that's the side I put up. So I want it on this side. So all I did was take my stylus, and I've got my Stampin' Up! Matte Pack underneath, and I just go over the edges like this. I bring a line up the front, and as I'm pushing, it is drawing that leaf in, and there you have it. And when you put that down with glue dots, that is going to look really pretty. Can you see those lines in there? Really nice. So let's just finish that off, and I'll be all set to do this. And this is not the Stampin' Up! Vellum. This is the vellum that I get at the stationery store. It's called Beatty's. It's a Canadian stationery store. And it's not as thick as Stampin' Up! I love Stampin' Up! Vellum. I've just bought a couple of packs. But when I'm doing this, it's hard to use that thick of a consistency. So there, I have one that I will place over here that I know that is going on my card. Now, I took the Tim Holtz flower die, the tattered flower die, and I made up, as you can see, I hope you can see that. Let me just see, because I brought this in. I have all kinds of flowers here, all textures, polka dot, brocade, plain, and I'm going to work with one of each and put them on here, because I only have so much canvas to work area, 5.5 by 7 brought in, so really probably 4 by 6. And I don't want too much because you can overpower your card, yet I want enough. So let's get working on that. I am going to bring it in for you so you can see what I'm doing here. I have the Jewel box sells these. Hi, Jules. And they're for using your glue gun. You have your finger tabs. You have this to poke down. It comes with a lot. It comes with this great big 14 by 16 inch mat, silicone mat. That big pink one over there. Let me just show you here. See it right down there? That big mat is all silicone to do projects on. So it's wonderful. So you just go on www.thejewelbox.com, and these are very inexpensive. Really good buy. Okay, so let's get going. I have these are 6-sided flowers. It started out like this because I ran it through the brocade folder. I have to remember that you're close up. So I have one with 6. One, I cut 1 petal out, 2 petals, 3 petals, and then I'm down to 2 petals for the inside of the flower. This isn't a rose, and it isn't a carnation. It is a vintage flower. It is a one of a kind. That's what I call it, one of a kind. And these strips, just a minute, I just looked over here. These are going on the outside edge of my card. So I want to keep this stuff over there so I don't forget to put it on my card. I want to have one of these on there as well. So quickly before I do this flower, no, I'll be able to remember. I'll set it right there. Okay, so let's get our glue gun and let's get our small mat. I got this at Hobby Lobby for $3. These were on sale, these mats, so I am going to set it down just a little bit over here. You know, these square mats. Where am I going to put it? I think I will do Happy Happy like that. So I just have an area to glue like thus. There we are. And I will work over here. So let me see if you can see that well enough. No, you can't. I need to bring it in and come up like that. How's that? Okay. This is a Stampin' Up! Stylus, and I'm using the fat end of the ball. I have curled this flower up just like that, but be very careful because with the brocade, it will rip. I went over the edges. I have this one down, so I am going to put it on my mat to start on the next one. So the next one will be the one with one flower out. Okay, let's move these over. And I will move along. I want this edge to be showing, so I am just wanting to round this off like this, and you can see it starts to rip. You want to get out of that area. I just want the edges just a little bit raised. And it's a vintage card. It is a shattery look, so you don't have to get in the middle here and just start curling. Okay, and just work it. The stylus does the work for you. Okay, so let's get our glue, and for some reason I'm kind of stuck, but let's see what I can do here. Put some glue inside the inside here. That mat will take care of everything for you. Yikes, see, I hit that and I won't know where I am on there. There we go. Back it up. Okay. So then you want to take some glue, put it on the edge here, just a little bit, to get that glued down like that. Hang on to it and set it inside your glue. Like this, inside your flower, excuse me. Break it open if you have to. It's not so hot. I know you just saw me press that, but that mat absorbs some of the heat. Okay, so go down in, it's vellum, so you have to work it there. Work it, girl, work it. There we go. Now, later on I can work that up, but it's a nice cone right there. So what I wanted to do in here, and I put them behind me, is I want to take one of these little flourishes and I want to incorporate that in there. So I have to do that now. So take a little strip. These are those long ones you buy at Michael's in the wedding section. So I am going to put, let's see, let me get this, 3 to a section. So 1, break that off, 2, and that 2. Okay. So I want to take my glue gun and I want to put that in there now. So 1, put some glue on the end, 2, doesn't matter, you're not going to see it, so don't worry about what's inside there, and 3. For this flower, I wanted that on there. So put that inside there like that. Okay, then grab this one that has, let me see, I've got 1 out, this has 2 out. So let's work it like this. You're just softening up the vellum. See how it's curling? It's doing it all on its own. Take your glue, work it on there, and you're going to close this up like this, and this is going to get chomped on the bottom so that it's not so pointy, like that. Let's get some glue inside there. Just drop some in there. And let's funnel this down inside, which is really pretty. If you could see this in person, it is really pretty. There we are. So you have these, just work around. There we are. Can you see that? I don't have that up far enough for you to. There. Let me bring it down. I want you to be able to see me making that. There you are. I think that's a little better. I won't move it from there. Let's take the 2, and this one is just, I'm going to work that, the raised area like this. It's so easy. I mean, it really is. I used to be intimidated by this when I used to watch it. I think, oh, I don't know, but you get doing it and you love it. And it's vintage. I always remember that, Carol. It's vintage. It's not to be perfect. And then I make it like a little cone, like that. I'm going to cut the end off because I want it to be small inside there. And grab it. Let's get some of that glue in there. There we are. And set that down in there like that. Then what I do, here's where I change direction. I take another 2, and I don't take a 1 yet. I take the 2. I take my stylus and work it again. There we go. And then I'm going to take the glue, and then I'll cut it off in a second as soon as I get this glued on like this. This is where you have to be careful because it's hot, and it's not as pliable. I wait a second and then I grab it. It's not as pliable as, obviously. Now while I have this, I want to put a tiny, tiny pink in there. So I will take, and this is where you just work with what you have. I'm going to take this little 5-petal flower right there. It's going to set down inside here when I cut it off. And I cut a good portion of that off too, about halfway up. Put your glue down in there. My glue's hot. I've had it on most of the day. That's not a good thing. Set that down in there like that. Get your flower here. Your pink. Work it there. Stick that in there and go down. Just work it down. I want to have a little bit of pink showing on there. So just work that on the side. Grab another one. It's good to have these little teensy images in your stash. Just a second, I have to find one. White would be good too. Just 2 of them so it looks like little stamens in there. So take that and my glue. This is where my my quick pick thing is going to be handy. Thanks, Johnny. There, I'll pick that up and I will shove it down in there like that. Okay, and then I am going to cut off and put 1 of each petal, cut them off, and these are going to go down the sides like this. So let's start working that. You can bend it, but I don't do anything with the, this is where I fill. This is called Carol's filling. I want to add the glue onto here so that I don't have a ton, and start filling to make it look really, I hope you can see this, this is going to fill that in. One there. Cut it off. And you will see this is going to, if you had, I have little feathers up there I might add towards the end, but I'll never get this card done if I don't start. One down. There. How much time do I have? Look at that. The last thing I want to do is to go into part 3. I love to watch. I don't care how many parts are in a video. That's my own personal view. When I go on, and if it says part 1 of 9, I just grab some popcorn and